started to wonder, and I wondered, which led me to wonder. I had to wonder. I started to wonder. I couldn't help but 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 wonder.
Welcome back to City Girls Make Do. I don't know where that came from. Okay. Hi. I'm your host, Stephanie, aka my mother, my motherboard, and me.
And I'm Alex, and I think I know how large my breasts are.
I think you should.
I think I do. I don't know, though. They've
Unless
been
you're
up and down.
Miranda. Yeah,
Unless
you never know.
I mean, there's that thing where it's like 48% of women are wearing the wrong size bras, but...
I'm not surprised. I probably am. Like, I've been remeasured a few times, and I'm just like, it's a mystery.
True. Yeah, I don't know. I only measure myself. I've never been measured.
I never have, like, a proper, like, measuring tape for that, because all the ones I have are, like, those kind of hard ones that aren't very good for, like, wrapping around things.
Oh, yeah, the ones that are for measuring, like, furniture and sort of the soft, supple curve of a breast.
Uh-huh, exactly.
Yeah, so I guess we're talking about my motherboard myself.
Yeah, this one has a really great title, and this is, like, possibly the best title we've had so far going into the series. It's good.
It is good.
And it's a good episode,
like,
too.
You know, it's a good pun. It's a literary reference that makes sense, because Carrie's a writer. Kind of a dark episode, though.
Yeah, this is probably one of the ones that goes, like, a little bit more than most episodes in the series. Like, it almost made me cry. I was watching it, and I was like, this is sad.
Oh, I cried. I fully had a little bit. I mean, I didn't, like, burst into tears. I had a little wobble. But I did cry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a sad one, but it's also a good episode. Like, it's a funny and sad, so it's, you know, got the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I guess we can just say that, like, we will be talking about parental death. So if you want to bounce out, then we understand. We will also be talking about probably a lot of jerking off and orgasms and the such like. So, I mean, it's a regular episode apart from that.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you're gonna nut, you're gonna experience every emotion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not an emotion?
Yes! Nut is an emotion.
Has Matt never nut?
Alex wants to know if you've never nutted before.
I mean...
Okay,
No.
he refused.
He says no.
Okay.
No, never nutted. So
no nut, never, forever.
no nut.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Should we get into this?
Yeah, we can get into this. It starts out like kind of cute because the girls are in the park and they're having a little picnic, and Charlotte made some sandwiches.
Carrie is wearing like no clothes.
True.
She's
As you do to a picnic.
She's wearing like a little like sleeveless like bandeau top and hot pants, and it's great and all. But that's it. Like, that's all she's wearing, and then like a huge coat over the top of some stupid little fucking hat. It's like, wear clothes, Carrie, or don't. But you can't be wearing the most clothes and then no clothes underneath. That's
Yeah,
weird.
she also this does really seem to be a season of her just going for stupid hats. Like the other episode, there were like a couple episodes where she was wearing her little like beret a couple times,
Oh yeah,
and it's like, okay, we get it. You are Carrie.
she's a hat bitch. Which, like, if you have curly hair, being a hat bitch is hard because your hair just does like a triangle thing.
You're right. Yeah. Well, she seems to make it work. I mean, yeah, I don't know, but.
The rest of the girls are normal clothed. And
they look
they're having
normal.
like a little picnic in the park, and Charlotte made sandwiches because she doesn't have a job, so she can just do that.
True. Yeah, and oh my god, so even though Carrie is never valid, she has this moment where I was like, okay, I feel kin with you, because she talks about how Aidan has a key to her place and she has a key to Aidan's place, and then she mentions that like Aidan has 2-in-1 shampoo, and she makes this like awful face that's like, this is just a nightmare and I can't even imagine like being there all the time.
Oh yeah, if you use 2-in-1 shampoo or anything in one shampoo, then just fucking shave your head, because you don't deserve to have hair.
Exactly. Like, you're basically a war criminal if you use 2-in-1 shampoo. It doesn't do anything. It sucks. It makes your... Yeah.
Henry Kissinger uses 2-in-1 shampoo, I bet.
He does! Yeah, no. It's awful, and Carrie is absolutely 100% right here. Like, she's usually wrong, but she's right now.
That is disgusting.
And, yeah, it's disgusting and awful. And then Samantha pulls out the sheet that she got. She spent $1.50 on some guy on a street corner for this sheet that's like 1,001 sex positions with like drawings, like little sketches for all of them. Yeah. And they're just like flipping through them all and looking at them.
It's like straight up, it's like sheets. It's like, okay, I've been putting together IKEA furniture today. It's like IKEA, like, instructions. It's literally just sheets. It's not the Kama Sutra. There's no... like names for anything. It's just numbers as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they're all just numbered positions, like 1 to 1,001. So.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you're having sex with someone, you're like, oh, do you want to do the 72? And they're like, oh yeah, I know that one.
Yeah. I wonder if 69 is literally 69 on the sheet.
It fucking better be, or else I would want a refund.
It would be really funny if it wasn't, though.
It was
69 is missionary.
Yeah.
69 is just missionary. Yeah.
So yeah. And then they're just chatting, and they're like, oh, so what's the new, everyone? And Carrie's like, Aidan. Which, I mean, is also accurate, though, when you're in a relationship. It's just
yeah, I guess so, but she doesn't have anything else going on at all, like, whatsoever.
Else, no. She doesn't have, like, a life. She's just dating a new guy. Well, not even a new guy, a guy she dated before.
Yeah, they've been together for a bit, too, so it's not like it's, like, the brand new part of it. Like, I don't know. It's whatever. Then after she goes home to Aidan, and he's cooking in her kitchen, and she's, like, upset that he's deflowering it. Well, not upset. She jokes about it, but...
Yeah. Because
she funny doesn't cook, and I mean, I can't even joke, I don't either, but then she starts like holding him, and is like, then they decide to just go have sex, I guess, and like ignore the food that's cooking.
Yeah, she's like,
just gonna
fuck the fajitas, come get this pussy, and then they have sex, like, and it's fajitas, that shit's gonna fucking burn. Also, what kind of monster are you? Like, if you smell fajitas and you hear that sizzle and you're not wanting to eat them.
Yeah, I don't understand. But then again, we already know that she eats magazines, so...
True.
That
she lives
feeds
on
her more
cigarettes
than food.
and coffee and cosmopolitans alone.
That's true, yeah.
So, good diet.
But, yeah, it's questionable, but... then that leads her to type up her question, and I thought this was kind of cute because she's like typing it up, and then there's her voiceover reading it, and then Aidan just comes up behind her and starts reading it off of her laptop.
I love this bit. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was cute. I liked it. And Carrie's just like, no, it's not done, and she just like closes it, which is like the biggest mood in the world, because whenever you're working on something and someone like comes up behind you and starts looking at it, I'm always just so hyper embarrassed about it. I'm like, this is bad, don't look at it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I speak to like a lot of people, and you're like, oh, I'm writing something at the moment, and I just refuse to ever ask, oh, can I read it? Because I know the answer is like, yeah, you can, but I don't want you to.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're writing something, you don't want anyone to read it because it's embarrassing.
Well, it's like it's not polished, and I'm just always like, oh, you're gonna read it and point out everything that's wrong with it, like, which is probably not true, but I don't know. I just get super self-conscious about it.
Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm. But this is when her error message pops up. Aidan walks away, and then suddenly it's just like there's a bomb on her computer screen.
Yeah. It's very like, I was hoping that it was like a virus.
Yeah.
And she was gonna like, have you seen Hackers with Angelina Jolie?
I have not, no.
Okay. I was hoping it'd be like some sort of 90s Hackers like thing would come up and be like, you got hacked.
Oh my god. But I would love it if she got hacked. If it was like someone had like corrupted her computer and like like stolen all of her sex article files.
For ransom.
Uh-huh.
I got one of those emails the other day that was like, if you don't send us fucking bitcoins, then we're gonna leak your nudes. And I was like, what nudes? I haven't taken any nudes. And then like 2 days later, I just took a bunch of nudes because I was like, well, I gotta have them eventually.
That's extremely valid. Well, they're gonna steal them now. This is the prequel to Mr. Robot.
Exactly. I'm like, well, I might as well have nudes for someone to steal, or else, like, what's the point?
Exactly. Otherwise, this is just an empty threat. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, bomb shows up on our computer, which it seems normal, right? Like, that's fine. There can't be anything wrong with that. So,
No.
And Carrie just like freaks out about it.
Yeah, she's like, oh, and she starts getting kind of mean at Aidan because he's like, oh, you know, it's fine, don't worry, we'll have a look at it, let me see. And she's like, no, you're gonna break it more.
This reminded me of the scene in Zoolander where they're like, don't know how to use a computer, and they're like, the files are inside the computer, and they just like smash it on the ground to like, because Aiden's just like, let me fix this, I know what I'm doing, and he presses like 5 buttons, and he's just like smashing the keyboard, and then it's just like the screen goes black, and
I mean, to be fair, like, who would I want to fix my computer? A carpenter?
oh, like, right? I mean, I don't understand why he thinks he knows what he's doing.
It's
he does
he's a
something.
Man. He's a fucking man.
You're right. He does something, and then like another error message pops up, and it's got like a little guy with like X's for eyes, and it's very funny. I really wonder like who made up these error messages. Like,
And like, obviously I've never used a fucking 90s Mac, so I don't know if these are real, but the way like they talk about it, because they go to the computer fix place, I don't know, the fucking tech place, and the guy's like, oh, you had a little man, oh, you had the bomb issue, why didn't you tell me that before? I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? It's like I don't know if it is a legit thing, like the blue screen of death, or
I don't know either, because I've always owned PCs. Like when in the 90s, there were computers at my school that were Macs, but it's not like they were crashing on me or anything. So I never really saw anything like this.
Yeah.
The second error message that popped up did look very 90s Mac, like the little guy with the tongue sticking out with the X eyes. But like the bomb seemed a little bit exaggerated.
Yeah. I had Macs at school too, and like I remember the first time I used it because just always had PCs, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, excuse me? How do I control click? And they're like, there's no control. I'm like, okay, well, how do I right click? And they're like, there is no right click. And I'm like, this is...
They don't even have a forward delete button.
I'm like, delete this shit. Fucking, this is trash. And then people will be like, oh, Mac's so much better. And I'm sure Mac is good for some stuff, but like, it fucking... Shut up.
It's not worth costing that much more money to not be able to forward delete.
No.
Like,
and to
like
have a stupid little fucking rainbow spinning and like just being like, you're gay and you don't know how to use computers. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, buddy.
I'm gay, but I know how to use my computer. But I feel like when I use a Mac, I feel like a boomer.
True, and you can't play any fucking games. I feel like a child and a boomer at the same time. So I'm like, there are no games on this phone, and also I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, true. I don't know anything. Just let me use my PC. I'm old, but also, yeah. But yeah, I did think it was funny that the guy's basically just like, Aidan tries to explain what he did, and the guy was like, yeah, that only works on PC. Like, this is a Mac. You're not compatible. And then there's just like a pause.
And neither of them know what that means. They're just like, okay.
It's true, but I do love just the thought of Carrie and Aidan just not being compatible because he has a PC and she has a Mac. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, then we find out Carrie doesn't back up any of her work.
No. She's like, you can back up work? Why didn't anybody tell me?
Like, what does that mean? Like, why is everyone backing things up? I don't understand.
It's ridiculous. She's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Do you think this means she doesn't save stuff either? Like, okay,
I think she saves it. She just doesn't, like, put it anywhere external. It's all on her hard drive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, same. I don't fucking back up shit, but then I'm not a writer, so.
Well, yeah, like the thing is, like, I never backed up anything properly until I started having like work on my computer that I actually wanted to keep, like when I was in grad school, and I'm like, and now it's like I don't back it up like on a hard. I don't back it up like anything outside my laptop. I just back it up like on the cloud. So I just use Dropbox Premium and store every single thing I have on there. Like,
true. Yeah, I wasn't really thinking. I was thinking like physical hardware, which like no, fucking boomer.
Like,
okay, boomer.
I do have like an external hard drive, but I literally just have a bunch of TV on it. So.
Same. Like I just like I have like a USB stick, and it's just like all movies. And then the cloud is is like for all my actual shit, which probably should be the other way around, but
whatever.
Exactly.
But yeah, she calls Miranda and talks about her computer issue, and she basically just talks about how like she doesn't know that anyone's supposed to back things up, and like no one told me this. Is everyone backing things up, and I just didn't know about it? Well, why is this so important? If it was so important, why didn't anyone tell me? And then Miranda's like, "Yeah, I'm in Philly because my mom had a heart attack."
I know, this is fucking painful.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, okay, well, because obviously Carrie didn't like phone her knowing she was there, and Carrie's like, oh my god, why didn't you tell me? Like, why didn't you start with that instead of me starting my bullshit?
Yeah, Miranda's like, well, your thing sucks too. I've been there. Like, yeah, her thing sucks. Just as it's impossible to say which one sucks more. They're about equal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I do hate when people just drop something like heavy on me, and I've been complaining about bullshit, and they're like, yeah, so my whole family was murdered the other night, and I'm like, oh, dope. And I'm just there complaining about like how my toe hurts or something.
Yeah. Yeah, like Carrie's issue sucks because she's someone that relies on that a lot. So like it does suck that everything was just lost, but I mean, it's, you know, it's a pretty, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But
so obviously Carrie is like genuinely, obviously like sympathetic and is like, do you need anything? Are you okay? And Miranda's like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, because, like, you know, like, the doctors have basically been like, she's stabilizing, and, you know, it's scary, but, you know, we're all here in Philly, and, you know, we're just monitoring it and making sure everything is, you know, fine, and so for now, everything's okay, I guess. Yeah. I mean, not okay, but it's
bearable and, like, not as scary than it sounds, at least.
Exactly.
You know? And then where do we go next? We get
a really short scene with Charlotte, and she's a dimming expert now, and that's literally the scene. She's an expert at dimming her apartment.
Yeah, she's like a lighting expert now. I mean, I think I barely wrote this down. It's just so like inconsequential to everything else that fucking happens in the episode.
Yeah, I was like, should I rewind this? Did I miss something? Like, was something happening here? Like, what? I really, did Charlotte have a plot this episode? I don't remember anymore.
She just has, like, dimming switches in her apartment. That's it's like, this is where her apartment's been. She's got dimmers. Which, I mean, okay, cool, I guess.
This is like really all she did. Yeah. I think. I don't remember. If she had a plot, I truly don't remember what it was.
But is she an expert? It's not that she's putting in them herself. Like,
yeah, she hired someone and now she's a dimming expert because that's how being rich is.
It's not like she's a fucking electrician now.
Yeah, so now she has the perfect ambiance in her, you know, dining room. So that's good for her.
I'm really happy for her. That's fucking great. Good for you, Charles. And then we go to Samantha, don't we?
Yes.
Yes. So this is interesting. So Samantha mentions like during their little picnic lunch thing that she's seeing a guy who's like a coach for some like college wrestling team. So it's like you know, scholastic wrestling. I really wanted her to date like a professional wrestler.
Oh, that would have been really like, you mean like a cameo, like have a cameo? I don't know any wrestlers, so
Stone Cold, Steve Austin, that would have been great. He probably would have been the best one. Or The Rock. The Rock was still wrestling at this time, so The Rock could have shown up.
That could have happened. That would have been really good. That would have been better than just this
I wanted her to be dating like a professional wrestler.
But the focus was on Samantha, not on some cameo,
that would be
so
cameo would be fucking great, but no, it's just some fucking bald dude.
Was he even bald though?
He was balding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
He was
got it. That's
definitely
fair.
like, you know, when you have the balding plus hairy chest combo, the
Oh, yeah. It's like,
Stanley Tucci.
yeah, it's always confusing to me. I'm like, I guess your body just decided some hair.
It was like, I'm about to head out, and then it went down to your chest.
Yeah, which is completely valid, but genetically it confuses me. I don't know enough about biology to understand it, but
I think it's something to do with testosterone, but again, we ain't biologists. We're seagulls.
no, I don't know fuck about that. So jot that down.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's seeing that wrestler guy, and so they're doing this like wrestling in I don't know if it's her apartment or his apartment, but like they're wrestling and then they just suddenly start having sex while still wearing their wrestling uniform things.
Yeah, they're wearing like, okay, yeah, she's wearing like a wrestling singlet, which I guess he has like a woman's wrestling singlet in his apartment.
I guess.
So
Yeah.
maybe he just makes like all the women he sleeps with put it on or something.
Maybe.
Or it's a guy's one. She's wearing it, but it's obviously designed to fit her body. It's not like
Yeah.
a man's one.
It seems like it's like a men's in the sense that like it doesn't seem built for anyone who has like any type of boobs, because like she doesn't have that big of boobs, and so it comes down and it looks like it's like a barely even covering her tits, and then it's just like very low cut, so it seems like it's for just like a very skinny man.
It's a very strange thing to have, nonetheless. It's like it's clearly not his.
Yeah, no, like it fits her fine, but
Yeah, and he's like a big guy, so, and they're just straight wrestling, and then they're like humping. You know, they're
Yes.
dry humping because they're wearing wrestling singlets. They're not wearing like shorts so you can just pop off. They're
Right.
wearing like the full like singlet. I think they both have like the helmet, like the ear covering things on, and they're grappling
Yeah.
each other. It's really strange.
I mean,
it's
that
really
is just what
weird.
wrestling is, right?
Yeah.
It's
I mean-
exactly like this. This is why everyone I know loves wrestling so much, right?
Well, it's not. Well, this is different than like professional wrestling. Because professional wrestling's fun and for theater kids. Like,
True.
that's the difference. Like, real wrestling, I guess, like Greco-Roman, you're like, no, we're going to just push each other out of a fucking circle. Boring. Professional wrestling, it's like, oh, I'm a fucking zombie. And I'm
yeah,
gonna...
no, that seems way cooler.
It's way fucking cooler. It's like this fucking dude who's 7 foot tall, and he's like, I'm a zombie, and I'm gonna fucking throw you onto some concrete off of like the turnbuckle, and then everyone in the audience is like, this is fucking dope. And
That's
professional
so
wrestling's
true.
very cool. I've been on a bit of a wrestling kick recently. I have no idea why.
You're valid. But yeah, like the normal wrestling that's not professional just seems very boring to me. Like they tried to make this big wrestling plot in Riverdale where like Archie just gets super into wrestling because like every season he tries something new. Like first he likes music, then he wants to like start some weird renegade group, and then the third season he's like, I'm just gonna be super into wrestling. But it's not like the cool wrestling where he's like breaking chairs on people's head. It's just like he's punching people, and I'm like, this is so boring. If you want me to care about Archie, make him die, make him like, I don't know, you can easily make this like such an interesting plot if it was like cool wrestling, but it's not.
Exactly. Oh my god. That would be great, actually. Professional wrestling is fun. Amateur wrestling, I mean, it's kind of sexy because it's still like big dudes just in very tight clothing, like grappling each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta love that. I gotta support that. But
True. I do like to see men like hitting each other, so that's cool.
It's such an innate thing. Like, I was talking about this yesterday with someone, and I was like, my great-grandmother and my grandmother and my mother and me all love professional wrestling. I have no idea where it came from. I don't know why it only seems to carry in, like, the feminine side of the family. That we're like, no, I want to see fucking big dudes hit each other, and I need the pageantry. I need pageantry.
Yeah.
I need drama. I need storylines. And I need tiny, tiny little shorts. Like, that's just it. It's the most feminist
You're
thing I
right,
can think
though.
of.
I think you're so right. It absolutely is.
Yeah. Anyway, onto a fucking bummer, I guess. That was the worst way I could have said that. Worst segue possible.
It really is. We go from wrestling to Carrie gets a call from Miranda. Miranda's, very upset. Her mom died overnight because she had been, the doctors basically said she was stable, and then they basically not forced everyone to go home, but they were like, go home, get some sleep, like she's going to be stable. And then Miranda's like pretty upset, mostly because, I mean, the death in the first place, but like she was alone, everyone went home, no one was there with her, and it's a very upsetting scene.
It's really upsetting. Like it's very well acted. It's very touching. Like this whole plot line is really well done. But for this show, it's very strange.
It's heavy. Like, I guess it makes sense that they're like, what are big things that happen in your life as you get older? And this is definitely one of those things that, I mean, obviously this happens to people at any age, but like, it's definitely something that I think more people grapple with in there as they get to like be middle-aged. So it makes sense that this is something that they'd want to incorporate. It's just very strange with the tone of, not very strange with the tone of the show. It's like, it does fit. It's not like the show is always funny or anything.
Yeah, like we definitely tackle like some more, like some bigger drama, I guess, in the show. But also, I think this is kind of like the first of that, though. So maybe that's why it feels a bit stranger. Like, I think I mentioned before of like Steven, because I mean, very soon Steve's gonna find a lump. I think I can't remember if he actually has. I don't think he actually has cancer. They just find a lump, and I'm getting into spoilers. I'm sorry, but like they do.
Regrettably, Steve lives.
Yeah, Steve is. But yeah, like God, I fucking got like 4 hours sleep last night. I'm running on empty. Samantha and Steve both have like their cancer scares / that, and we've got some babies coming up, and surprise, we got a divorce coming up. Like
what? Who?
What would that be?
Isn't everybody happy?
Yeah, like we tackle like serious stuff, but like I think this is kind of the first of that where it's like really like legit. Like no, this is actually something that happens to people in real life. Not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, tasting disgusting sperm is something that happens to people in real life, but like it's not as traumatic as a parent dying.
It's up there, but definitely not the same. Like
exactly.
Yeah, and like there's light moments in the episode too still, which like, balances it out. So it's not just like this is the depressing episode. It's not like when you watch when you watch BoJack and you get to that one episode where like everything falls apart in one episode and you're just like, oh boy, this is a show now. I mean, every episode is kind of like that. But
I think
not
I legit, I like skipped that episode last season. So I was like, do you know what? My mental health is not in a great place. So I'm just gonna skip this one.
That's fair.
It's not like that, but I will say I did get a bit of whiplash from the next scene. And just sort of cutting back and forth between Miranda, like Cynthia Nixon doing like really great acting, it being really touching and like well written, and some good character development from everyone, and then Samantha getting fucked in like fucking 5 different ways. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I wonder why Kim Cattrall doesn't really like the show that much.
I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it.
No, me neither.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Carrie's basically like, can I do anything for you? Of course, Carrie's actually being a great friend for once. And she's like, can I do anything for you? When's the funeral? Obviously, I'm going to go. Do you need me to bring you some clothes? Just helping her out. And Miranda says, no, it's fine. Like, that's the thing with funerals with clothes is like, you don't want to get something, you kind of don't ever want to wear it again. Especially if it's a funeral that is someone you're close to. Like, I think I've only been to like one funeral that has been with someone I'm close to, and I don't think I ever wore that dress again, you know?
Yeah, I don't really think so either. I mean, I think the thing about me is that all the funerals I've been to have been several years apart. I've been to maybe like 3 from family who's either like a grandparent or great grandparent or uncle, I guess, too. And like they've been far enough apart that I've been, like different sizes every time. So I wouldn't wear the same thing to any of them. But I can definitely see like, I definitely wouldn't want to like wear the dress I wore to like a funeral I went to last year. Like to another one, it just feels weird, and I wouldn't want to wear it again just in public.
Lizzie McGuire, you are an outfit repeater.
Oh my god!
Like, can you run and go to a funeral? Someone's like, you wore that last funeral, you fucking disgusting cheap whore. Like,
oh my god!
I don't think
all the ways to phrase it.
Oh yeah, I don't think anyone would say that. Like, but I know what you mean. Like, once you wear, especially something like that traumatic, you don't really want to be reminded of it. So
no, and like I wouldn't like I would wear a lot of black. Like I would easily wear like a black outfit just normally, but I wouldn't want to like take something that I wore there and just wear it again just anywhere. I don't know. It would feel kind of weird. It would just remind me of it.
Exactly. Yeah. So she's like, no, I'm gonna buy some new clothes, and because she didn't pack, she just sort of came as quickly as she could, and obviously wasn't planning on going to a funeral. So she's just gonna go. And Carrie, okay, this is also me being fucking a finicky bastard again. So Carrie gets up and she's wearing like a ginormous shirt. Like, it's huge. It's down to her fucking knees.
I didn't notice this. Was she still at home? Like, was she in her pajamas? Or
yeah, it was just like a night shirt. Presumably it's Aidan's or something, but it's too big to be Aidan's. I mean, he's a big guy and she's a small girl, but like it's down to her knees. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And just really distracted me. I was like that, holding back tears from this, like, obviously horrible thing they're talking about. And then she gets up and I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why does she look like she's 2 foot tall?
Because she is.
She's tiny.
Yeah. And so I guess, but this is Carrie getting ready for brunch, I guess, because the next scene is Carrie arrives at brunch, but she's late. And Samantha's just like, you're late, and where's Miranda? I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
And Carrie has to be like, well, I mean, she has to explain, because no one else knows at this point. And Charlotte's like, she wasn't even sick. And I'm like, yeah, that's how the heart attacks work, you fucking idiot. Like, they haven't been out of nowhere. It's not like you're gradually getting sicker and then suddenly a heart attack happens. Like, they're almost always a complete shock. Like,
that's how my granddad died, though. He was sick for ages and then he just had a heart attack.
But was the heart attack like expected symptom?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He was just like fucking everything was shutting down. He was 100 years old.
That is old. Yeah.
But it is fucking old. And then, so they were like, yeah, he's gonna, I think he had like 2 heart attacks. And then they were like, okay, if he has another heart attack, he's gonna die. And then he had another heart attack and died.
I guess like it's more anticipated if you have a history of it. Like if you've had a heart attack before, it's kind of like not that surprising. If you have a
heart condition or something, or or whatever. But yeah, she's like, again, it's completely out of nowhere is the thing, I think Charlotte's trying to say. And Samantha's just like shutting down. Completely.
Yeah, Samantha's dissociating. She's like, don't know how to handle this and don't want to. And it seems like a weird, I don't know. It seems like kind of a weird response.
Yeah,
from
the window,
Samantha, but
it's definitely strange, but you can see the Windows XP noise, the do-do-do-do. Like, literally, that's what happens. Is her brain just turns off, and she's like, I honestly swear to God that she was just completely still throughout this entire scene until they're like, hey, Sam, you got something to say? And she's like, and then the power up noise comes on. She's like, oh, yeah. I guess I really thought they would get into this. When I was watching the episode, I was like, okay, maybe Samantha has some, like, undealt with trauma. Maybe a family member close to her died, or maybe she doesn't speak to her parents anymore and she sort of realized and like, oh, they could go at any moment, maybe I should make peace with them. Never dealt with. It's just like, oh, because she likes to fuck all the time, she can't deal with emotions.
It makes no sense. Like, I was kind of like, maybe it's because she's the oldest one out of them or something, but they really don't bring it up. She just doesn't want to emotionally compute it. And then, like, they're all kind of, like, you know, a bit shaken by it. Like, Carrie kind of starts crying. She's upset about it. Charlotte's like, should I send a fruit basket? But yeah, Samantha's not saying anything, and she's, like, very nonchalant. Like, then she kind of is just like, look, I'm just hungry. I'm not, you know, I'm not a bitch. I'm just hungry, which... I do get that. She was hungry.
I don't know.
And I feel that.
I mean, I've been hungry before, but I feel like, I don't know. I've never been hungry and had to process death at the same time, so I don't know how that would be.
Yeah, and it's a weird connection because we don't really know how close any of them are to anyone's family. Like, I don't really know if they've ever met her mom before. Like, either way, it's, you know, your very close friend's parent. But it's still, like, it could just be like, this is someone I've never met before, and I feel very sorry for my friend. I don't have an emotional reaction to this.
Other than just feeling empathy or sympathy for your friend. Just feeling bad for her. Not necessarily the person who passed, but like, oh, my friend is going to be really upset over this. I want to comfort her. But she's just like, she just kind of shuts down. She's like, yeah... Look, because obviously if you can't deal with emotions, Sam's just like, tell me the check I need to write, like, just whatever I need to sign, to send flowers, to send fruit baskets and whatever, just tell me what I need to do and I'll do it, you know?
Yeah. It's very detached.
Yes. But then then we go to fucking, because I mean, that is a way to cope, right?
It's something to take your mind off of the mortifying ordeal of being alive.
True.
So she goes and she's fucking the wrestler guy, and, you know, they're trying, like, every position possible, everything, and nothing is working. Samantha's just like, well, I guess I'll die. She's just like, okay, keep going. And she says it, like, over and over and over again. And she's like, the guy's like, look, I gotta go, like, pick up my laundry. Like, I can't just do this forever.
Yeah, they try, like, all these different positions, and then Carrie's like, time for Old Faithful, and I've never seen this before. Like, so, like, I don't know, I guess Samantha is, like, on her back with her legs together, like, in a fetal position, but on her back. And the guy is, like, doing, like, horizontal on top of her, so they're doing, like, a little cross. I'm like, I haven't seen this before.
Yeah, but, you know, it's...
Old Faithful, apparently.
Exactly, Old Faithful. Yeah, exactly what you do when you need to just get off. And I'm like, okay. But I guess if it works for Samantha, if this is Old Faithful and it always works, why is she trying these 1,000 other positions?
I have no idea.
But it's just not working. She doesn't have the emotional capacity to nut.
She can't nut. And then she's like, why can't I nut? Also, she never touches her clit during this entire thing. I don't think her hands are anywhere near. She's just like, why can't I nut?
I mean, like, she seems like the type of person who doesn't need to. Samantha's the kind of person who's like, what? You mean not everyone has vaginal orgasms? I thought that was everybody. Yeah,
but, like, you would think that if you can't come from vaginal orgasms, you'd be like, okay, well, I can, Old Faithful clitoral orgasms, you know, a friend.
You'd think so. That good friend. But, I mean, she doesn't try that, but then after the guy leaves and she's like, okay, well, time to just masturbate, so that, and then she gets out her vibrator and she does, I just have it on her clit, so, like, she's trying. But
she is very much trying. She gets, like, every vibrator out, every dildo, every technique, she's got a lot going on. She definitely does. And she's trying them all and nothing's working. And she's like, why can't I come? I'm like, honey, it's because you're sad.
Yeah, like, you need to process your emotions. I mean, I don't know if this is, like, a thing that has ever legitimately happened to a real human, but I mean,
I've definitely had, like, a thing where I'm like, oh, you know, I'm sad. what can I do to make myself not sad anymore? I know. And then it's just not working. And I'm like, oh, it's because I'm too sad.
Yeah, like, I mean, that makes sense. It's weird, though, because, like, I don't know, how sad is she, though? Like, I feel like
Well,
I don't
not even
know.
sad. It's just like I'm distracted by something else, right?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that I'm
does-
sad.
yeah.
It's like I'm distracted, or I'm a little bit too drunk, or I'm
Yeah,
just
that makes
tired.
sense.
Do you know what I mean? There
Yeah.
are many reasons where it's not happening.
Yeah,
But-
that makes sense.
Yeah, just like fucking I'm distracted by something else. You know, I don't
Mhm.
necessarily need to be sad. I'm just thinking about something else.
Yeah, that makes sense. We also, I love that when she's in the middle of, like, trying to get off, Charlotte calls her, and she doesn't even turn her vibrator off. Like, she's on the
No.
phone with Charlotte, and she just leaves the vibrator on, and Charlotte's just, like, at the florist ordering some, like, arrangement and stuff, and she's like, you know, have you called Miranda yet? You know, like, you probably should, and Samantha's like, I'm busy, I told you I would be masturbating all day, and you're calling me about this, and I'm just like,
I
Samantha.
can't even remember her saying. I can't even remember her saying that to Charlotte. Charlotte's just like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah, she's having a time, a normal one.
certainly having a fucking normal one this episode. So, yeah. Then after that, we go to Charlotte, right? And she's like, or am I thinking of something else? We go to Charlotte.
Yeah, we go out to Charlotte after, I think, yeah,
And she's picking out the edible arrangements.
the flowers. Yeah.
The fruit basket. And she's like, I don't know, relishing in planning shit. This is the most Virgo thing I've ever fucking seen.
This is so weird. Like, it's like the whole episode, it seems like she's kind of preaching to Samantha about how she's processing this whole thing and being like, you really need to reach out. Where, like, at the same time, I'm like, Charlotte, the way that you're handling this seems a little bit
Yeah.
weird.
The way
weird
she's
to me.
handling it is just being, which I get, and like I do this, you know, where it's like,
Mhm.
actually, I don't do this. Remember my grandfather died? I was like, well, I'm just going to make jokes. And I was probably about like 10. So I was just there, like, everyone was around my grandmother's house, like, crying. And I was like, well, I gotta make some jokes. I gotta make everybody laugh. This is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There's an uncomfortable silence. I gotta make people laugh. And then fast forward to like 13 years later, and that's what I'm doing right now. So fun.
True.
But she's focusing on basically planning stuff and making sure that everything is appropriate for the funeral, which cool. Also, I think it's more that she just isn't working anymore, so she needs to put her time into something.
Yeah, that makes sense. True. And she wants to do things for Miranda because
Yeah.
Miranda's obviously occupied and stuff. So it does
Physical-
make sense.
You know, acts of service, love languages, etc.
Yeah. And then we have a scene where Samantha, Charlotte, and Carrie are together, and Samantha talks about how she's lost her orgasm, and she says she normally finishes every single time, and this time it was like 2 hours with nothing.
Yeah, and they're like, every single time, she's like, every single time. What did I fucking say? Like, did I fucking stutter, bitch?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And Carrie's like, oh, well, were you on top? And Charlotte's like, you can have one when you're on the bottom. And I'm like, I do think this is really funny because obviously everyone's body is different, but I'm like, I cannot imagine having that happen on top. Like, okay.
Like, I know for some people, they prefer, like, I have a friend who prefers it. And I think, especially if you have any sort of, like, you know, it can be good to kind of control the situation as well.
Yeah.
But, like, you can definitely have them at the bottom. Like, what works for you might not work for
yeah.
everyone, but you could still, it's
Yeah.
still possible.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like,
It's really, she's like, you can do that. Like, yeah. A lot of this is Charlotte going, wait, you can do that?
it's very good. And then Charlotte just drops this bomb on Samantha, and I'm like, why are you talking? Why are you opening your mouth? She's like, one time I read about this woman, and she was just having orgasms constantly, and then one day they just stopped, like she'd used them all up. And Samantha's just like, what? meanest thing you've ever said to me.
That's such a horrible thing. Like, oh my gosh. I
can't imagine telling your friend that.
Oh, by the way,
she's
you've used them all up.
Yeah, could you imagine, though? That's horrifying.
That is horrifying. I remember reading a story about a girl that was like 16 and got her menopause, and from then on, like, every time my period was a little bit late, I was like, well, this is it.
Oh my god. Like this one extreme case.
Yeah, I was like, well, I'm never having a period again. I can't have children. Adios, everyone. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely do that. I definitely understand it. But also maybe don't tell your friend that.
Yeah, don't like share that information. That is so unhelpful. It's almost guaranteed that this isn't what's happening.
Yeah, actually that happened to me. This exact situation happened to me the other day where I was like, oh, I was telling my friend that I got an IUD, and I'm like, oh, I got an IUD. I can't have babies now. She's like, yeah, but I read a story about a woman who gave birth to a baby, and the baby was born with the IUD on its head. And I was like, that definitely didn't happen. And she's like, yeah, it did. I'm like, no, it fucking didn't.
If you knew you were pregnant and you had an IUD, and I'm sure the first thing the doctor would do would be to take the IUD out.
Yeah.
And also, what the fuck? Why would it end up in its head? It goes, like, into your cervix, not into, like, your uterus. I don't understand.
I don't know. I really don't understand. But she was like, yeah, it was born with an IUD on its head. Like, that's not how that works, but okay.
Can you imagine, though?
I know, but then it festers into your brain. I'm like, well, what if I am pregnant and I give birth to a baby with a fucking IUD on its head?
Oh my god. That's so much to hear. I can't even believe that.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking weird. But, yeah. So they're like, oh, maybe you've lost your orgasm, which...
It's just like Austin Powers.
Yeah, she's lost her mojo, baby.
Yeah.
And she's never gonna have an orgasm again.
Oh, God. It is tragic. You know, there really is just some monumental tragedies happening in this episode.
Yeah, it's really... It's R.I.P. to her pussy. But I'm different.
Yeah. The next scene was... so the next scene is a Miranda scene where she's shopping for bras. This was, like, a lot for me because the store lady, to me, was very, like, inappropriate. And
oh, yeah. I was like, you can't just do this. You can't just fucking touch people without, like, their permission. She's clearly said stop several times.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
No, me neither. So, yeah, Miranda's going to buy a... Bless you.
Thanks.
Miranda's going to buy a bra because she didn't really pack. I guess she didn't pack, like, a decent bra. So she's going to get a new one for the funeral. And this, like, store lady comes up and says, oh, you're not a 32A. And my mother, who was pottering around in the kitchen while I was watching this episode, screams, 32C.
Really?
Yeah. And she's like, I bet she's a C. And it turns out Miranda is a 34B or something.
Yeah. So the size, like, almost
Miranda's
everyone
like,
is.
Not me.
Well, no. Obviously not everybody, but it's like, I think that's like the bra size that's like if you were like a size 7 shoe, it's like, okay. It's like, I feel like it's like one of the most standard bra sizes that,
average?
At least it's the one that they seem to have the most of when you go bra shopping.
True. They always have like fucking B's and C's, and I'm like, please.
Yeah.
Please. I need the strap. I need the fucking big strap, baby. It's the average size, yes.
Yeah.
And Miranda's like, listen, I didn't come here to get a new bra. Like, just leave me alone. The lady's like, no, you need to try it on. And Miranda's like, fine, fuck off, I'll try it on. And then Miranda goes to try it on. And this woman, like, she goes into the changing rooms and just starts fucking touching Miranda's bra and adjusting it. And Miranda's like, leave me alone. Like, I'm getting changed. Luckily she's in her bra and not completely topless. Like, this woman just fucking walks in.
Yeah, and Miranda had just said, like, no, I'm fine. It's okay. Like, you don't need to do anything for me.
Yeah, like, obviously, if you're getting measured, you'll probably be in your bra. But she just barges in. She's like, hi. And just starts touching it and adjusting her. Miranda's like, fuck off.
Yeah, I really hated this. And then they make the scene seem like it's just that Miranda's being really emotional, but it's like, no, she has every right to be like, fuck off, go away.
Yeah.
But yeah, like she does have a bit of an explosion where she's kind of just like, look, I don't need your help. Can you leave? Like, and then she kind of just explains that her mom just died and they have this hug while Miranda's just wearing like a bra.
It was a bit weird. But
it was kind of weird, yeah.
Like, I guess this woman is also meant to remind Miranda of her mother, because, like, her mother was also pushy, and Carrie's voiceover says that Miranda sort of realized that she'll never get to have an argument with her mother again, and, you know, it's all very... it's a lot.
It is a lot, yeah. It's kind of heavy, and... then we go to Carrie at home. She gets home and Aidan bought her a new MacBook. It's very 2000.
Yeah, it's the fucking, it's the Legally Blonde one where it's, like, color, you know?
Yeah, and it's, like, blue. I can't believe he did not buy her a pink one, but...
I know, but, and he's like...
he also bought her a zip drive.
Yeah, and he says, look, it has a carrying... It's like a little carrying thing, like a purse. And she's like, why did you buy me that?
Yeah. Yeah, she's annoyed. She's basically just like, my whole life is on my old laptop and I'm still waiting to hear back about it. And I'm like, Carrie, I had a fucking bomb on it. I'm pretty sure your laptop is dead. Like,
oh my
say
God,
goodbye.
This guy bought you a fucking new computer. Like, oh my God, it's probably so expensive. Like, just go, do you know what? Okay, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But... my boyfriend just bought me a very nice gift. So, thank you. Thank you. No. She's hot.
New laptop. It's got a zip drive. She's set. And she's basically just, why would you buy me this, like, backup thing when clearly my old system was working just fine? And he's like, what do you mean? You lost everything. Clearly was not working. Broke. What the fuck is wrong with you?
It fucking broke. And she's like... why would you buy me something? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's just very inappropriate.
I don't even understand why she's upset. Like, is she upset because he just did it without permission, or he doesn't care about, like, the actual problem? Like, what is she mad about?
No idea. I really don't get it. I guess the whole thing is she doesn't want help from anyone else when she's been... Like, later on, she says she's been doing everything on her own forever, and, you know, like, she's used to not having help from other people. But, I don't know, like, just shut up and accept it.
Yeah, fucking grow up. She's valid for, like, the rest of the episode, but, like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, and Aidan's just like, he's annoyed about it, because he's just like, okay, you don't want me to be part of anything in your life. Like, I wanted to go to the funeral with you, and you said, no, don't come. I tried to buy you a new laptop, and you don't like it. Like, he's like, I can get into your apartment, but how do I get into there? And he just points at her heart.
Do you get it?
Poignant.
Yeah, he's like, how do I get into here, Carrie? How do I get into your heart?
She does yell kind of like, you have the key to my apartment, what more do you want? And it's very big talking to Carrie in season, like, 1 or 2.
It's very fucking, but now she's the big.
Yeah, exactly. She's big, being like, what do you mean you want more than the most basic amount of me caring about you? Like,
why want me to be nice to you? Fuck off.
Yeah.
What?
It makes no sense, but yeah, I mean, this is where Carrie's just like, look, this is how I deal with things, and he's like, I don't give a shit. He, like, leaves the receipt, and he also leaves the apartment key, and then he just leaves.
Yeah.
So
he just we do have like a quick bit of Samantha where she's on the I think this is actually West. I just looked at my notes.
This is where that happens.
Full disclosure, I have been playing Mario Kart throughout a lot of this.
I've been playing Pokemon Masters.
We are Nintendo shills. Sorry. the most professional podcast you can imagine. I'm just like,
Yeah.
nah, I want to play Mario Kart. Anyway,
Sam's troubleshooting her own laptop.
she is. I got the I just looked at my notes and I wrote that she has a Carrie Russell forehead vein.
Oh my god. That is a joke just tailored right for me. I love it.
Exactly. Yeah. Carrie Russell forehead vein is popping. I love it.
It's great.
Acting.
Uh-huh.
So yeah. And then I think now we're at the the laptop can't be saved basically. So Carrie goes back to the tech place and the guy's like, yeah, is it this is the funniest bit. So he shows her a fucking her writing, her last document, and he's like, is this what you're writing? And it's all nonsense. It's all like fucking windings, like none of it makes sense.
It's really good.
It's just the way he's like, was this what you were writing? Like, he says it no so nonchalantly, and she's like, no.
I also just love the writing for the tech guy. Like, I swear to God, they just hired someone who knew, like, certain words about computers, but not really anything that much, because they're just like, I don't know, when he just explains the problems with her laptop, they're just like, he's like, yeah, your motherboard is fried, but and then he says like, you could have there could be some problems with your RAM, and like, just like,
Yeah.
I feel like you're just saying computer words.
They literally are. And he's played by Asif Manvi, who was Uncle Monty in the series Unfortunate Events TV show.
Oh, yeah.
He was
I didn't recognize him.
He was the best. I loved him.
He was good, yeah. I liked it.
I love Uncle Monty more than anyone. I think maybe that's why I'm slightly obsessed with snakes.
Ooh, yeah, that makes sense. Snakes do fucking rule.
They fucking rock. Shout out to Uncle Monty. You were kind of stupid, but like, we have to stan.
True.
So yeah, Carrie's like, yeah, no, and he's like, okay, well, it looks like it looks like your hard drive's fried, nothing can be saved, so fuck off. And she's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I think he's also like, oh yeah, I'm gonna calculate how much it costs for you. You saved your warranty, right? It's like,
She's like, what's a warranty?
she doesn't
To
know
be
what
fair,
that is because she only spends money on shoes, and shoes don't have warranties. So
I mean, sorry to be a Carrie on main, but I'm like, I don't think I've fucking ever saved it. Like, I got an electric toothbrush.
never saved them.
No! I got an electric toothbrush for my birthday, and I think that was the first time I was like, oh, maybe I should keep this warranty.
Yeah. I just don't know where I have saved warranties before, and I don't know where I put them when they die. Or the thing is, things will die after like 3 years, and the warranty's good for like 1 year or something. So I'm like, what's the point? Why would I do this for? So
I don't fucking know. I only figured out what a warranty was like probably a couple years ago.
You're valid.
Yeah. So now it's time for the funeral.
Yeah.
Carrie basically realizes that like she's a fucking idiot. Surprise. But yeah, the girls are there. Oh wait, no, don't we have a Carrie getting ready?
We have a scene first where Carrie's like home and she calls Aidan because she wants to apologize because we don't know. I don't know. There was some time off screen where she decided she was wrong, and she apologizes, and she's basically just like, okay, look, I'm not used to getting help. I'm used to doing everything myself. So if I get used to your help, what if you're not here one day? And it is kind of cute because he's just like, where the fuck am I going? Like, I'm not going anywhere.
He's like, look, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I fucking took you back after you cheated on me.
Yeah.
So he's not planning on going anywhere. And Carrie's like, okay, cool. So they go to the funeral, which is I don't know if we've mentioned, but I think Miranda's like hometown is in Philly. It's in Philadelphia. Yes. So, it's a train away, and they're all there. The girls are all huddled outside, like with, there to support her. Even Samantha. Mm-hmm. And Samantha didn't want to go.
She didn't want to go. She didn't even know she was supposed to go. She was like, wait, we're going to the funeral? I thought we were just supposed to send flowers. What?
Yeah.
which is like, oh my god, it's your friend's mom. But yeah, she shows up, and I love that she wore like the sluttiest dress possible to this funeral. Like, it's a really good dress. I do love to see it.
She's fully tits out at a funeral, and I support that. And she's like, I can't fuck anyone here. Everyone here's ugly.
True. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. But yeah, it really is a funeral, so.
She's hunting for dick at a funeral.
Normal.
Oh my god, it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
And basically Miranda gets out of the limousine. And they go and talk to her, and Miranda's obviously kind of upset, and I think it's like she's freaked out by everyone asking her how she is, and she's getting a lot of attention, as you do. And she says that she's going to have to walk alone, and everyone's been asking her where her date is. Like, she was supposed to bring a date to her mother's funeral.
Which is, like, such a wild thing for people to ask. Like, oh, are you here with anybody? Like, my mom died. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I mean, I guess it's, like, something you could say to make conversation, but also it's so weird. I don't know.
Oh, you're single and your mom died? Fuck you.
Like what? Truly fucking wild.
It's absolutely fucking wild that people are doing this. Also, I guess maybe her dad's also passed too, because I'm like, could she not walk with her dad? Presumably he doesn't have a fucking date.
Yeah, it kind of seems like he's not there.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know anything about her dad. We know that she has a sister.
It's never mentioned, but everyone's families aren't mentioned a lot throughout the series. Like, I think she's mentioned her parents before as sort of like being the two of them. But yeah, she's gonna have to walk alone. Her sister's married, so she's fine, and it's definitely a weird situation to be in, on top of everyone making her uncomfortable for being single.
Yeah. We also get to see Charlotte's flowers that she ordered, because she had been like, make sure it's tasteful, make sure it's not cheap shit, like, make sure it's good. And then it arrives, and it's like the most distasteful flower arrangement ever, because it's like, it's huge.
It's like 7 foot by 3 foot of just white lilies.
It's a lot. And Charlotte's just like, I cannot believe this. I'm so embarrassed, because it was supposed to be tasteful, and it looks like shit.
It has like a sash, and it's like, rest in peace, R.I.P.
Yep. And we get a Carrie voiceover that's like, I guess we now know what $500 of like nice flowers looks like.
Jeez Louise. Funerals are expensive.
They are expensive. Like, although you'd think a lot of it, like, if the person who died had any money still, like, I would assume that some of that would go towards, like, the funeral costs and stuff. Like, I'm assuming when you write a will, you probably are like, yeah, this is, like, what I'd want for my funeral, kind of? I don't know. I mean,
you're supposed to, but a lot of people don't. And especially especially if you are dying suddenly, a lot of people don't write wills. In my family, we're very, at least on my mother's side, we're very like, no, you need to be planned. You need to accept the fact that you will die. So you need to have everything planned out. Even if it's not in written, like, even if it's not in writing, to like tell people what you want. So, like I said, my mother was watching this episode, so she was going at it. This is so weird. So the last funeral I was at, like, it was technically she was like a cousin, but like a great aunt kind of thing. And my grandmother was sitting next to me, and she goes, oh, what a lovely coffin. Oh, I want one like that.
I mean, I guess if you're thinking about it, I cannot imagine. Some stuff I just don't want to plan because I know I don't want to be buried. So it's like...
Yeah, that's fine. Like, if you don't want to be buried, just be like, I don't want to be fucking buried. Do whatever you want. Whatever you want to have with your body, just tell people that. Just be like, if I fucking die, My mum is always like, if I die. I love saying, if I die, because you never know. But my mum's always like, when I die, just fucking sprinkle my ashes somewhere nice. I don't fucking care. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Earlier today I was talking to Matt and our friend, and I was like, when I die, just upload me to the cloud. And I'm like, wait, that's just the plot of San Junipero?
It is. Oh my god, where's San Junipero?
Oh my god, true. But yeah, that would be really nice if I could just leave my physical form and just become digital. Like, that would rule.
Yeah. Yeah, we're the platonic version of San Junipero.
Ah, it rules.
Where
We
it's
truly
just
are.
like, instead of them being like gay, it's just like they're friends. Gal pals.
They're gal pals.
You know?
Yeah.
We are gal pals.
And we're online. Yeah.
we are on the online. So yeah, I have some mum tidbits from this. So like they go in to the funeral, and my mum's like, oh, these priests, they don't know who they're doing, they don't know who they're talking about, they don't make it personal, there's no spirituality, it's not personal.
Yeah. True.
Because the priest sucks in this.
The priest is so bad. He's just like, he's messing up the names. It's so boring. It's nothing at all like, and we don't see any eulogies or anything. We only see like the priest talking. It's very boring.
It is. And he keeps like saying, is it Martin or something? But he's basically saying that Miranda's mother was actually like her mother-in-law, saying, and his wife, you know, she left a son and his wife, Miranda.
Yeah,
and it's like
very
fucking
awkward.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
I cannot imagine being like the person who gives a funeral service and like making sure, like not making absolutely sure you know everything.
Yeah.
Like that usually is a thing. Like when you plan funerals now, because like my nanny died last year, or like my grandmother died last year, and like the person who planned it, like aside from the family members who were talking, like they try to find out as much as possible that they can kind of say to, you know, make it personal, like the things that they liked, like who their relationships are. Like it's not like it's just they're reading names off a card. Like they go out of their way to try to, you know, make it touching for the people who are there.
Yeah, I think the last funeral I went to, like I don't know, the vicar or whatever, like it was actually really nice because I think he did it as like a favor because he grew up on the same street that like the woman who died did, so like they kind of knew each other, and he just sort of did it for free and donated his pay to the charity that was set up for donations. And it was just like, okay, and he was saying a lot, and it was very clear that he had asked a lot of questions and knew the person he was talking about, or at least, you know, had knowledge of them. It wasn't just like, you know, so and so was nice and then they died. It was well thought out. And yeah, this dude don't know shit, and it's very impersonal, it's very cold, it's not like a celebration, it's very dour, it's very like bad energy, but it's very just depressing. And the other thing is, I didn't really catch most of what people were saying because my mother was rattling on about what she wore to her husband's funeral. Yeah. She was like, oh, I wore a lovely dress to my husband's funeral. It was black and it had red roses on the side. Like, she's, you know when you're with like your parent or something and they just start talking about absolute fucking bullshit and you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to watch this emotional scene where this main character's mother had died, and then right next to me is my own mother, who is currently alive at the time of recording, and she's just prattling on about some fucking dress she wore, and I'm like,
well, you didn't really miss anything important.
No, because I'm like, well, I mean, I guess this is trying to teach me that I should, like, the show's trying to teach me, you know, you never know how much time you have left. Enjoy the time you have with your loved ones. But also, I am trying to watch it.
Like, Mom, I'm watching here.
Hey, Mom, I'm watching the television program. But yeah, she's like, oh, I had a lovely dress. It was black. And then she's like, I don't want people to wear black at my funeral. Everyone's wearing black. I don't want them to wear black. Tell them to wear colours. And she says to me, she's like, well, you can wear black if you want, because she understands that I'm goth. But she's like, don't wear black.
That.
Yeah, like she gets it. She's like, well, if you want to wear black, you can wear black, but like, don't feel like you have to wear black. And I'm like, okay.
I just feel like every funeral is kind of boring now after seeing like you know, after watching a single My Chemical Romance music video, you're kind of just like, well, what's the point if there's no theatrics? Just like with wrestling, what's the point if there's no theatrics? Like,
exactly.
I just don't care. I mean, I care because if it's like someone you care about, but like for me, it's like if people aren't, you know, like picking up my casket and spinning it around and like in the pouring rain, like what is the point? What has this all been about? Even if I want to be cremated, just have like a casket, just rent a casket for a day and pretend I'm in there.
Yeah, I need, like, if you're not going to do interpretive dance at my funeral, then just fucking throw me in the trash. Like, either, that's my thing. It's like, okay, if you have the money, first of all, I feel stupid to waste money on a funeral, or, like, at least on my funeral, because I'm like, well, I'm fucking dead, so, like, you can kind of do whatever you want with my body. I'm fucking dead. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, part of me is like, okay, just fucking do something nice and quiet and cheap. And then the other part's like, no, I need a send-off. I'm very dramatic. I've been dramatic in life. Do you think I'm not going to be dramatic in death?
Mm-hmm.
If someone didn't wear black to my funeral, they need to fucking leave.
Well, like, you could have something really cheap and like just casual, but then there's a very, very strict dress code that everyone needs to have the most emo makeup possible when they show up.
I need like a full goth emo, like a full Hot Topic, gothic Lolita. Someone needs to have a parasol. Some bitch needs to be in a fucking Victorian morning gown. I need veils. I need like if you are not wearing waterproof mascara, bitch, you're wearing the shit that runs. And you're gonna cry and it's gonna go all down your face. I need the drama. If someone wears waterproof, like, I need to see that you've been crying, you know? So yes, I'm like, no, I need full goth, I need full drama. Because that's the way I've lived my life, so that's the way I want to go out. But also, throw me in the trash.
Yeah,
in the immortal words of Danny DeVito, just throw me in the trash.
I mean, the thing is, he was right, so, like...
Exactly! I'm like, fucking take all the fucking organs out of my body that could be used for someone else, and then just throw me in the trash. Well, actually, I would like to be in one of those, like, eco cemeteries, where it just saves, like, it's like wildlife conservation or whatever, but otherwise, fucking, I don't care. Throw me in the trash.
Yeah, truly.
What am I gonna do? Come back and haunt you?
I mean, I will, but that's a different story.
Exactly.
I'm gonna do that anyway, so...
Yeah, I was gonna do that anyway. Like, I'm just gonna be mildly pissed off when I come back and haunt you.
True.
Ugh.
Well, this is also when Samantha finally has, like, her emotional breakthrough.
Yes, she has her moment. Miranda turns around and looks at them, and because obviously she's upset by this fucking priest who keeps saying, who's not even saying that she is her mother's daughter, keeps saying that her mother had some fucking son. Well, she didn't. We see Miranda's sister, so it seems like it's just her and her sister. And basically, this guy's saying, leaving her son and his wife Miranda. So obviously she's pissed off. And she turns around to the girls and she sees Samantha, and Samantha just mouths, "I'm sorry." And then she breaks down.
Yeah, she just absolutely just starts crying. And I feel like this is my experience with, like, every funeral I've been to for the most part, where it, like, of course, it's one of those things where, like, I'll be very sad before I get there and be like, this is a lot to deal with, but I don't really cry until I get to the funeral, and then it's like, it really feels, I don't know, and then I just, like, lose it and can't stop crying.
Same, 100% same. Like, like I said, last funeral I went to, I wasn't particularly close with the deceased. I'd met her a few times, so she was very nice. She's very lovely, very nice. But as soon as I sat in there, I just started fucking bawling, like, embarrassingly. I was embarrassingly crying. Like, her grandchildren and her children were there, and they were not crying as much as I was. This is when I was sitting next to my nanny, and she was like, "Oh, what a lovely coffin, I want to be buried," something like that. And I'm just like, tears streaming down my face, like snotting up nose, like
Yeah, I know exactly. Same.
It was like I was having a fucking, like, and then I was embarrassed because I was crying so much. So that was good.
Yeah.
And yeah, my grandmother, who was completely fine, she just passed me a tissue, like, here you go, dear. You're okay. Even though it was fucking, like, the person she was close to had died. And she was like, Alex, you need to stop crying now because everyone is looking at you like you're insane. And I am, so.
It's just impossible to control that amount of emotion, though. Like, you can't. It's not, I don't even know. And it might not even necessarily be a reaction to how sad you actually are about it, but it's just like, I don't know. It's impossible to hold that back.
Exactly. Me too. Like, when because my grandfather died recently, and I cried a little bit, but I didn't like break down. I definitely cried more. I was obviously more upset about my actual grandfather dying than I was at someone who I'd met a couple times. But I cried more at the funeral than I did at even like, it's not the same amount of sadness. Definitely not. But just being at a funeral, being in that atmosphere is it's emotional. It's emotional.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and Charlotte starts to comfort Samantha, and then they are walking the casket down to go bury the body, and Miranda's walking by herself, and she's looking really scared and very upset, and this is where I started crying. This is where I started
was really sad.
Oh my god, this is horrible. This is where I started welling up. So she's walking down. I also have a cold at the moment. I'm not crying. I'm not crying now. So she's walking down the aisle, and then Carrie sees her and just like runs into her and holds her hand and is like walking with her. And and I started crying, and then they cut to Aidan and Steve at the back of the fucking church, and I burst into tears.
Oh my god.
I was a wreck. Oh my god, when they showed up, and Miranda's like, oh, thank you. Oh my god, it was too much. It was too too fucking much.
It was a lot, because Miranda's like the whole time just like crying her eyes out because she's so emotionally like just overwhelmed, and it is a lot for one scene. This was a It's
a fucking lot. It's a lot.
It's like definitely out of the entire show so far one of the like most well acted, well done scenes they've put in the entire show. Like, to actually have an emotional reaction to a scene that they've done after some of the other stuff they put us through. Like, it's like, this is good. Like, we've never even met this woman before. I've never met Miranda's mother. No idea what the fuck she's like.
She never shows up in the episode. We just hear about her, and I'm having this emotional reaction to her not being there anymore.
Yeah, it's intense.
It is very well done. It's very well... For once, it's like, oh, this is well written and directed and acted, and the characters are having an emotional journey, and what they're doing makes sense. I think if I doubt anyone's listening to this show for the first time. If you are, this isn't what fucking happens. Like, if you watch this episode with like zero context of what happens in the rest of the show, you would think it's an entirely different fucking piece of media.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's some parts that line up pretty much with what the show does, like Carrie's bullshit with Aidan and Samantha's whole thing with not being able to nut, but like, otherwise it has a different tone, for sure.
Definitely. And then that's it. So I guess rankings.
Yeah, well, Miranda's my top because, like, Cynthia Nixon really killed it this week. Like, she definitely, like, this was her episode. She did a great job acting, and just, she also had the best story. I don't know. After that,
can you say Emmy?
Can you say Emmy?
Emmy! Yeah, Emmy reaction.
Yeah. After that, it's like, I really don't care, because, like,
yeah,
Carrie would be my bottom because Carrie just was dumb. Carrie has no idea how to use a computer. Like, I mean, I have problems too, but like, she's just like, I just hate everything about her always, aside from like the good joke she made about how Aiden's 2-in-1 shampoo is bullshit, but
True.
I don't know, she's my
I don't know. I think I'll go Miranda, obviously. And then maybe Charlotte, just because she seemed to be the most helpful. And I understand the whole acts of service, love language thing. I get it. And then I'm going to be controversial, and I am going to say Carrie for third, because she was supportive. She fucking helped. Like,
Yeah.
they were all supportive, but I would say Carrie, obviously walking with Miranda and being there for her was like, it did a lot. It really helped her. And then I'm going to say Samantha, just because I'm not, like, mad at Samantha, but it's just weird. Like, her whole storyline was strange. And it's like, come on, babe, you're just fucking distracted, that's all.
Yeah.
Deal with
it
your
wasn't
emotions,
very
you're
good.
a grown woman.
Yeah. I guess now that you say that, I don't know. Like, part of me is like, well, there's no way that I could put... Like, the thing about Charlotte's story is that I literally forgot what she did until we got through the podcast episode. So I'm kind of like,
true.
could I even put her second if I don't even remember what she fucking did the entire time? Like,
That shouldn't
I don't know.
do anything, to be honest. Like, it was just
maybe
fucking...
maybe I will even just put Carrie second, because she is part of the reason we got this episode title, which was really good. Because my
True.
motherboard myself is very funny, and she was a very good friend for being helpful. And then I don't know, like maybe I'll put Samantha next, and then Charlotte. I don't know. It's kind of like the three at the bottom are all kind of just like, literally no one cares. It's not your episode.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, this is 100% a Miranda episode, and she's 100% deserving.
Mm-hmm.
Cynthia Nixon, get Emmy.
Cynthia Nixon, get Emmy. Like,
I don't think she ever won an Emmy for this. I don't know.
I don't think she ever did. I feel like, I don't know if they ever won an Emmy for anything. Like, I can't really imagine they did, but...
I definitely think Sarah Jessica Parker won. Sarah Jessica Parker won one for production and for actor, because there was like a comparison between her and Phoebe Waller-Bridge the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
What? That seems fake.
I know.
I mean...
Listen, we've made leaps and bounds in television. Fleabag compared to Sex and the City is a different ballgame, I would say.
I would say extremely different ballgame. I mean, I guess they both have a lot of sex
and like relationships and emotions, I guess.
And I guess
like,
they both have like a central character who definitely has done some scummier things, but like...
They also have a main character whose name you don't know, which I guess is...
True. That's true. I didn't even realize that until we got to like the finale, and I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, what's her name?
Yeah, like, what's this bitch's fucking name? Who are these people?
Yeah, because I was like, we watched it so fast that I didn't even bother. And a lot of the time I'll watch shows and just not pay attention to people's names and just be like, yeah, that character. But yeah, I got to the end of it and I was like, did we just never learn her name? I guess we didn't. And
I think because I watched it on Amazon, and like for the episode descriptions, it would say like, Fleabag does this. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. But... yeah, well, that's her.
So yeah, I mean, I guess that's what happens when you turn something from a play to a television show. Anyway,
yeah. So those are our rankings. We have like only one question this week, because I think we were saving a couple of them for the mailbag. So we have one question, one Steve voice. So they're both from Tumblr user Mike Dawson. If you want to send us a question, you can send it to citygirlsmakedo.tumblr.com/ask. So our question from Mike Dawson is, if there were a modern incarnation of Sex and the City, would there be any episodes where a character dates an r/no fap sort of person? What about trying to impress a sapiosexual? I mean, Samantha's already had like 2 episodes where she dates someone who doesn't bone, so that's kind of like a no fap.
Yeah, we've had a couple volcels. Well, no fap is like, okay, so I did my research and then realized I've met a no fap person. So I think it's more like you can have sex with women or men, I guess, but it seems to be mostly fucking straight dudes. And the whole thing is like, you don't watch porn and you don't jerk off because porn is bad for you. Which, like, okay, yeah, I can agree that porn has detrimental
Porn's
effects to people's mental health.
Bad. It's not the only way you can jerk off, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People jerked off before porn, my guy.
True.
And people jerk off without porn every day. So it's like, okay, yeah, if you don't want to watch porn, like, don't watch porn. And I guess if you don't want to jerk off because you've only ever watched porn, so you're like, okay, well, I'm going to take a break from jerking off. Because if I jerk off, I'm going to want to watch porn, so... But, like, you can still jerk off, but, like, yeah, without watching porn. But, yeah, so that no masturbation, no pornography, but you can have sex. And the whole thing is, like, you know, you can... Which, okay, this makes me wonder how often guys jerk off. That, like, they're like, nah, you can be doing other stuff, like going to the gym, or eating good, or making connections. It's like, wait, I can do all those things and also jerk off at the end of the night.
Yeah,
like,
I don't understand. Some people do just do it a lot, though, I guess.
I mean, it takes, like, fucking, like, what? 15 minutes? Like, if you're getting, you know, yourself set up and in the mood.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the person.
It depends on the person, but, like, okay, say you are watching a pornographic film, then how long are you jacking off for? Like, an hour? That you can spend your time doing something else? That is, like, worthwhile? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they're like, no, because... it's like, okay, if you don't... It's very, very confusing. So I don't really know what they're on about. And they're like, I haven't jerked off for a month. So...
Tragic.
Great. Good for you, dude. I don't really get it. It's good. It's very Catholic. Sounds very Catholic of you.
It really does, yeah.
It's like those people who, I think this is different. Like, I believe that No Fap is secular. But you know those, like, evangelical people where it's like, no, if you watch porn, then you have to tell someone because else you'll go to hell. If you keep it a secret that you've watched pornography and you've jerked off, then you're gonna go to hell. Right?
I don't want people to tell me. I'd rather they just told their cat or something.
That's what cats are for keeping all your secrets.
That's true. And you don't have to tell them because they probably just saw you. So.
Exactly. But yeah, I knew a guy, I probably mentioned before, because I just fucking hated him and he was weird.
Yeah.
Like, you know those people you just... Because he was in one of my classes and I had to spend fucking about a year with him. 2 days a week for about a year. And he was very annoying. I remember one time we were in the pub and he was like... it came up... I mean, you know, young people talk about sex when you're drinking alcohol. And he also didn't drink but still came to the pub with us. Which is fucking annoying. Yeah. Like, it's annoying when, like, everyone's there, like, oh, should we get a pint in? And he's like, I'll just have a lemonade, and silently judge you while you drink. And it's like, oh, fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and he just, like, we were talking about sex or porn or something, and he was like, yeah, I haven't watched porn in, like, 6 months. And we were like, okay. And he's like, yeah, I haven't jerked off either. And we were like, okay.
I just love that it's a conscious decision that you, like, would remember the last time. Like, you remember the date.
Yeah, he did remember the date. He said, like, the 28th of November or something. Like, he knew the date. Like, he knew that shit. And he was like, I know, we were like, why do you know the date? And he was like, oh, because it was 2 days after. Like, he had some reason why he knew it, which I think was a lie.
It's probably because he tried to make No Fap November happen and he just couldn't quite make it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably like because he heard that George H.W. Bush died and he was like, fuck!
It's like, hey, gotta jerk off to this. Nah. He wasn't cool enough to jerk off to the death of H.W.
No, but he just saw what happened to him and he was like, fuck, I can't let that happen to me. So he had to jerk it. So...
yeah, so he was like telling us about this. We were like, why do we, obviously we like don't want to know.
Yeah, please don't tell me about the last time you did. Like, I don't care.
Like,
please don't tell me.
Like, I don't want to know. Like, I mean, even my friends, it's like, you know, a little giggle, like, you know, when you're with the girls and you're like, oh, I got a new vibrator, and you're like, girly giggle.
Yeah.
But, like, some dude fucking telling me the last time he jerked off, I don't want to fucking know.
Yeah,
I don't want to
need
know.
What am I supposed to do with that information?
Oh, just think about it in my fucking nightmares, or bring it up on a podcast a year later.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and he was like, you know, on about how it's actually good for you, and like, you know, he's been like really busy doing other stuff, and his mind's been clearer. Like, what the fuck? How are men jerking off to the point that their like fucking entire life is clouded by it? I swear to God,
I don't get it.
I'm like, oh, I have you know, oh, the house is empty. I got 15 minutes to kill. Okay, cool. Or like, you know, I'm lying in bed and I'm like, oh, I'm bored and I can't sleep. Well, you know, it's not. I'm not like, I mean, maybe when I was like 15 and you're just insatiably horny all the time. And
you don't
like,
need to
when I
clear
get
your
home-
schedule. Like,
Yeah, and you like have to schedule that shit. You're like, well, okay, if Saturday the house is going to be empty from 1 till 4, so I got plenty of time. No, but like, when you're a fucking adult human being,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how it's like clouding your life so deeply that
Yeah,
you need
same.
to cut it out like you're a heroin addict. Like you're an addict. Like, okay, if you're a fucking sex addict or you're a porn addict, fine. But like, for most people, they're talking about like it's like everyone is addicted to it, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
Jerk off, fucking, it's relaxing. It's
Like,
good for migraines and for period pain as well, if you get those.
True. Mm-hmm.
So.
There's lots of good reasons. Not like you have to do it, but if you're not going
No.
to do it, you don't have to tell people that you don't do it. And if you do it, you don't have to tell people that you do it. No one cares.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, again, I'm not going to walk in a room and be like, guess what I did, guys? Like, if the subject is broached, sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't have any fucking
Yeah.
secrets anymore, but like, I'm not gonna just fucking tell people in the pub. And he can't even blame alcohol because he was drinking fucking lemonade.
Yeah, it's not like he was spilling his secrets because he was getting sloppy or anything. He's just like,
No.
yeah, no, I just want to tell everybody that just haven't nutted in 6 months, so normal.
Yeah.
Just normal for me to tell
And
people.
normal. He was also a major creep, so I think it's to do with that. And we were all like, well, next time a woman touches your dick, you're just gonna fucking die.
Yeah? That's the hope.
I hope he's fingers crossed. So yeah, what was the other part of the question? I got distracted.
So the first part was no fap. The second part was sapiosexual. Every time I read r/no fap in this, I keep reading it like it's this slash in the end make an H. So my brain is reading it like Real Housewives of Fap.
I'm a big Real Housewives fan. I would love that show. Real Housewives of No Fap. Probably, like, that probably would be the new version of being a, you know, celibate monk or whatever the fuck that dude Samantha dated.
Yeah.
Probably, but then it seems like they can have sex, so maybe he would just be, like, more horny or something, and she'd be like, oh, no, I don't want to have sex, and he'd sulk because he can't just go and finish the job himself.
Yeah, possibly. And
so
then
maybe that'd be the
sapiosexual.
Sapiosexual. Yeah, I would think that Samantha would seduce Mark Ronson.
Oh my god. Yeah, I could see that being a plot. Like, I don't know. Is there anything else that's like weird nowadays that just wouldn't have been a topic back in like the 90s or early 2000s? That's just like
I don't know. I think they've definitely dated a guy who's like, I am very smart, you know?
yeah, I mean, I feel like Carrie dated that one guy who was like reading a book in the park, and I was like, oh, so you think you're smart, huh? Oh, you think you got a big brain?
This bitch can fucking read. What a nerd. What's up? I'm Jared, 19. I never fucking learned how to read.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess, like, I don't know. People who are sapiosexual are just like fucking. It's not real because, like, your dick isn't gonna get soft because someone's like, oh, I don't know my left from my right. you know?
Yeah.
That's not how dicks work. Like, that's not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. Shut
I
up.
don't either. Maybe I'm just too dumb.
Maybe. I'm definitely a morosexual. I'm only attracted to idiots.
True. There could be an episode in 2019 where they date someone who watches Rick and Morty.
That is a sapiosexual.
Yeah. Someone who's like, sorry, but if you're not smart enough to understand the jokes on this show, then I don't want to date you. And Miranda's just like, I just don't care. And they're like, well, clearly you're not smart enough for me, even though you went to Harvard Law. and
exactly. And she's like, I'm Pickle Miranda.
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm Pickle
that.
Miranda.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, I only date idiots. If you're listening to this and I'm dating you, then you're a fucking idiot.
True. Yeah. Can't imagine. Like, if you're in my apartment, there's like, how many brain cells between the like 6 of us? One. So you bring any more and you're threatening me.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, like, I don't know. I've been talking to a lot of guys who've like, oh, I went to university, and I'm like, I don't fucking care, bitch. I didn't. Yeah, exactly. I'm the opposite of a sapiosexual. I'm like, oh, you're smart? Fuck you.
True. Go to hell.
I'm like, I don't fucking care. Can you eat pussy? They teach you that in university, motherfucker? No. You just got debt, you fucking idiot. Actually, if you went to university, you're stupid because now you have student debt, and I didn't go, and now I don't have debt.
That's true. Mm-hmm. That's a really good point, and you're right.
So who's the smart one now, bitch? Anyway, I think that's the end of the episode.
That's the end of the question. So yeah, that's all our questions for this week, which is good. We can go to Patreon now. Patreon.com/citygirlsmakedo. And you can give us money there. You could give us $1 to get a role in the Discord and get the mummy mailbag, and you can get the secret Discord channel of Looker and Nanu Pics, which is poppin'. You can give us $5 a month, and you can get access to everything from the $1 tier and a more special role in the Discord, and you get a shout out on the podcast, and you can submit stuff for Steve Voice. So, we got a Steve Voice this week. It is from Tumblr user Mike Dawson, who has submitted, Hey Miranda, check out how hard I can pee. So, thank you for that, because that was a really good one.
Oh my god. Wait, it reminds me of that tweet that's like, bitches with good pussy piss loud as fuck, and mine sounds like I'm frying chicken.
What? I mean, I've never seen this before, but that's so funny. So good.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, that's pretty much it, is like, you know, piss loud, good pussy.
I guess so, but I don't know.
No.
Anyway, our $5 donors are Summer Geist, Jesse Alachi, Siberian Pine Hardwood, Jennifer Snyder, Jan Mike Dawson Silva, Matt Ribeiro, and PR the Disaster. So thank you for the $5. We cannot help but stan. Yeah.
Gang.
Thank
you, everyone. The money goes directly to Stephanie's student loans and to my pints down the pub.
I don't have student loans because I live in Canada, so our education is cheaper than it is in the States. I mean, a lot of people do still have student loans, but I lived at home, so I don't. Because I didn't have to pay rent.
We're smart, motherfucker.
I'm smart. Just live with your family until you're old, and then you don't have to pay rent when you go to school, maybe if you have nice parents who let you do that, and then you save money.
See, my parents let me do that too. I'm living rent-free, baby.
It rules. So you gotta ride that wave as long as you can.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, I'd like to move out. And then I'm like, but would I had my dinner cooked for me and I don't have to pay rent. So
pretty sick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's fucking sweet, baby.
Yep. So the money goes straight towards our pockets. And, you know, that's the thing that pays for Looker and Nanu to have food on their table every day. So if you don't want my cats to starve, donate to our Patreon.
And if you want me to butter up my mother by buying her vodka, then donate to the Patreon.
Exactly. And if you want to be Mr. Big Spender, you can give us $10 a month. You get like the specialist role on the Discord server. Plus, you'd also get access to us recording every week. So you could just listen to that if you wanted to. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's our Patreon. And otherwise, you can, just find us online. You can find the podcast at City Girls Make Do on Twitter and Tumblr, and on Noisespace.xyz, the podcast network that's got all those podcasts that are good. And you can find me on Twitter at Age of Oddish and on Tumblr at Windfall Island.
And you can find me on Tumblr at Dork Phoenix and me on Twitter at Alex the Virgo.
That's you.
Yeah. Fuck cops.
Fuck cops. I guess Virgo season's over now, huh?
It's Libra season. Fuck Libras. No, it's Libra season, so it's the time for love and romance and feelings.
Isn't that all the time? I don't know
it's all the
anything about
time,
what
yeah.
Libras are supposed to be. I don't know shit. That's
All
one of
the
those
time.
signs.
Love and feelings all the time, all the time.
Yeah, that's okay. Got it. I really don't know shit. There's some signs where I'm like, I know so much about what you're supposed to be like, and then I'm like, Libra? No idea. Who knows?
Every Libra I've met, at least in person, has been just straight up fucking insane. So, including my friend who's a Libra, and I'm like, yeah, but she's also kind of crazy. So, and she knows that.
That's valid. Matt's a Libra, and mostly valid. So
that makes sense.
So, but yeah, mohe every day and fuck cops.
Fuck cops. Trans rights. Mohair every day.
Trans rights. Yeah.
Yeah. Might as well just keep adding stuff. So long and good night.
So long and good night. Vote NDP. Bye.
Vote Labour.